Good evening, YouTube. This is Kel 2012. I wanted to talk about something that I had seen an article on in my local newspaper, actually, and a couple of people had brought it up to me, and I decided to do a little bit of research on it and do a video. This is basically on the federal government coming into California to basically shut down all of the state legal marijuana dispensaries. Now, when it comes to state law and federal law, state law always supersedes federal law. That's the way it's supposed to work. Evidently the federal government, because they say that marijuana is illegal and so on and so forth, and I want to state something right now. First of all, I don't smoke marijuana, okay? I don't. But I understand its place. And, you know, when I was a teenager, I did my fair share. I have yet to ever experience or see or be a party to or have heard of any violent crime ever committed while somebody was high on marijuana. You know, unless it's stealing a candy bar or a bag of chips. But anyway, the whole idea of the marijuana dispensaries are for medical marijuana purposes. It's been known for years on the benefits of cannabis and so on, a lot of which I agree with. Some, okay, y'all are stretching it. But everybody in California voted and it was legalized. Okay? It's the way it is. I live in Washington State. We have the same situation up here. Legal marijuana from a legal dispensary is legal in Washington State. When the feds say that they're going to come in and shut down all of the dispensaries in California, even though it's completely legal, exactly who are you going to use to do all this? What, you're going to use the police in California? The sheriffs in California? Okay. Well, this message kind of goes out to you guys. And I'm talking, you know, the police and the sheriffs and so on. In California, the biggest cash crop is responsible for $14 billion a year in sales. That's marijuana. Okay? It dwarfs the state's second largest ag commodity, which is milk and cream, at $7.3 billion a year. The taxes alone from tax revenue of medical marijuana from these dispensaries that go directly to the state, mind you, can be up to $1.3 billion dollars. When it comes to the police officers and the sheriffs with their wages and their pensions and so on, your money comes from tax revenue. Plain and simple. They shut those down, you're going to lose an insane amount of tax revenue that pays for extra police officers, or pays into your pensions, or, you know, just pays your salary in general. $1.3 billion with a B dollars. You know, Judge James Gray, who's a proponent of legalization, okay, he stated once, this was before it actually took place, that once marijuana was legalized, that he estimates that legalizing the sales of marijuana and thus ceasing the arrest, prosecution, and imprisonment financing for non-violent offenders could save the state of California $1 billion a year. Okay? Another $1 billion. So you're saving $1 billion. Let's even cut that in half. 500 million. Okay? So you're saving the state 500 million a year. Plus you've got possible revenues of 1.3 million or 1.3 billion. Okay? So you're sitting right there, at 1.7 billion dollars. 1.8. Okay? That's a lot of revenue. That revenue puts your kids through school. That revenue really keeps things going. Wouldn't it be to your benefit and your family's benefits, and I'm talking to the police officers and sheriffs, to not let this happen? Okay? They're going to come to you, the feds and everything else, and they're going to come to you and say, we need your help. Really? You want our help to possibly have me lose my job, lose my pension? My state, as California, is in shambles. And you want me to help you, you want us to help you shut down the biggest tax revenue process that we have? Really? What are you going to do for us? You going to be able to replace that with an economy that's breaking down to shit? What, you're telling us that you're going to shut all this stuff down? What, so pharmaceutical companies can make more money? Because that's what it boils down to. It's tapping into the pharmaceutical companies. These places are privately owned, but they're paying taxes that are going into your pension plans, that are going into your insurance plans, that are going into your children's schooling and educational systems. But you're going to help them shut these things down? In 2011, and this is the most recent, and I looked this up, on quite a few different sites, and I apologize, I'm back at this and I'm kind of new at posting my sources and everything, but the original one that I came up with was from the, actually it was the New York Times, and now I'm going into the LA Times. And they say that 58 million to 105 million a year as of 2011 is already tax revenue from these dispensaries. Okay? 58 million to 105 million a year. Yeah, I know that's a pretty big twist from, the 1.3 billion. But there again, you got to take into consideration that you're also saving another up to $1 billion, and even cutting that in half, that's 500 million, in just the cost of arresting, prosecuting, and imprisoning non-violent marijuana smoking offenders. Okay? So all of this tax revenue benefits you. And not to mention, California is well on their way, as of 2011, of creating and setting up a platform agency. It's kind of similar to the ATF, except they're going to be working on the control and distributions and so on of the legal marijuana. And of course, we all know this is mainly for accurate taxation and so on and so forth, which is the natural progression of things. Okay. But I really just wanted to talk about what this means to the citizens of California that are already suffering. You know, you've got a welfare system that's out of control. And you've got all of these government employees that are having to take extra days off during the week now as it is. And you're going to have them shut down these dispensaries, which is going to cut down an insane amount of tax revenue. That's going in your pocket, that's going in your retirement and your pension plans, your health care, all of it. So when the feds show up at your local precinct and they say, you know, we need your help to do this and blah, 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 what are you going to do? Just something to think about, guys. You know, that's your state that you're working at. That's where you live. That's where you raise your children. You might want to think twice before helping the federal government in shutting these places down. Something to think about. Okay, guys. This is Kel 2012. Have a great one. Out.